Can we get started?
Yes, sir.
Can we
Good morning,
start?
sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Welcome you, sir. Just a minute, sir. I will call to Victor, sir. Please wait a minute, sir. He is in call, sir. He is in call. Please, sir. Hello.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Sir, Victor, sir, join.
Yes, sir. Very sorry. Actually, I was in a meeting due to some unavoidable issue. I got entangled. Very sorry for the delay. Just now, apart from it, the 100 maximum reach another, I couldn't be able to join for the past 10 minutes. I am trying to join, but unfortunately, the crowd 100 the maximum reach another, I couldn't be able to join. Very pleasant. Good morning, sir. Mani James, sir. Chief guest, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Very pleased to talk with you, sir. Actually, 11 o'clock I got entangled in the meeting, sir. Apart the meeting join 100 maximum cross join issue, sir. Very sorry, sir.
No problem.
Yes, sorry, sir. Aishwarya, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Aishwarya? Okay. Shall we start? Technical team, shall we start, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. A very pleasant good morning to one and all. It is indeed a great pleasure for all of us being a part of this 35th webinar of this academic year. To enlighten all of us, we have a most eminent personality from industries from Frost and Sullivan, Shri.Mani James, sir, the Senior Vice President of this branded corporate. May I now request our final year SRM student, Ms. Aishwarya, to deliver the preamble session about the chief guest as well as the Sullivan piece.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to one and all. A warm welcome to all the dignitaries gathered here for the webinar titled Mega Industrial Trends of the Future. Frost & Sullivan is a business consulting firm involved in marketing, research and analysis, growth strategy consulting, and corporate training across multiple industries. It is headquartered in Mountain View, California, and has 40 offices on 6 continents. Frost & Sullivan was founded by Dan L. Sullivan and Laurie A. Frost in New York City in 1961. The company initially focused on research related to new technologies, distribution channels, and business trends. In 1972, it started a corporate training division. The company expanded into Asia in 1990s and opened offices in China, Japan, India, and Singapore. In 2001, it acquired Technical Insights. The same year, Frost & Sullivan lost its New York sales office in September 11 attacks. The following recession forced the company to lay off 10% of its 700-strong staff before it made a recovery. In 2002, it further expanded its alliance with Dialog. Today, we have Shri.Mani James, sir, Senior Vice President, Frost & Sullivan Company, Chennai. We welcome you, sir. Mr. Mani James is a Senior Vice President with Global Innovation Center in India, tasked with focusing on working with strategic clients across Middle East, APAC, Asia Pacific, Europe, and North America. He also acts as strategic advisor and consults to the clients like Government of India, Tamil Nadu, Dubai Government, MNCs, Ministry of Economy, Saudi Arabia General Investment Authority, GOIC, DAVSA, Foreign Commonwealth and Office, Department of Trade and Industry, and many other high-profile organizations, leveraging his policy, regulatory, benchmarking, and strategy expertise. His educational qualifications are: he is a B.Tech Mechanical Engineering in National Institute of Technology, Calicut in 1993. PG in Business Administration and Management, General in Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship in 2002, and Project Management in Project Management Institute India in 2006. His working experience includes nearly 23 years of experience, where he had worked as engineer of projects in Mukan Engineers Limited for 3 years, also worked as project engineer in Simrise Limited for 1 year, also worked as senior consultant as well as senior business analyst in Ramco Systems for 4 years, and finally, in Frost and Sullivan, he had worked for 12 years and 5 months in several roles including program manager and head of business for 2 years, regional director for 5 years, vice president for 2 years, and currently working as senior vice president from 2018. Today, we are having such an eminent as well as a hardworking personality from Frost and Sullivan, and I welcome you all for this powerful webinar, which is going to begin in a few minutes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Aishwarya. On behalf of our management, principal, executive director, associate director, HODs, department placement coordinators, and students, we take the privilege to welcome Shri.Mani James, sir, who is going to deliver so many vital informations as far as mega industrial trends of the future topic. Hearty welcome, sir. I also take the privilege to welcome our Associate Director, Dr. Manivanan, sir, who is the root cause for this webinar. Hearty welcome, sir. I also take the privilege to welcome HODs, faculty members, as well as students and participants from various engineering colleges for this webinar. Surely, sir will be going to deliver plenty of insights for your betterment of your career. Please take down all the information, which will be a cherishable information for each one of us. Thank you so much, sir. Please start the session, sir. Shri.Mani James, sir. Please switch on your video also, sir, if possible.
All right. So thank you for the warm welcome, and again my sincere thanks to Mr. Manivanan for giving me this opportunity. So maybe get started. 1 second. All right. Okay. So what I want to for you is from my engineering college perspective is to kind of give you a very broad overview of why some of those big trends that are happening out there are very important for you as a person, maybe you may be a student, maybe you might be a faculty, or you might be from the management. A lot of what is happening right now is not a one-time activity, or it's something that's just come out of nowhere. There is a lot of science and theory behind what's happening. So I want to give you two things. At the end of this whole session, I want you to go away with two things important. Even if you remember nothing, just remember one thing. Two things, sorry. One, these trends the future trends that will happen around the world in your life, these are by nature are going to be the mega trends, which obviously has other implications for business, society, and your personal lives. So there will be such trends that you have in your education, in your kind of knowledge that you gain. You should actually be very prepared to understand that some of these trends are for real. The second thing that I want you to go away from this whole session is to kind of understand, okay, now I know what are the trends that's going to happen in the future. How do I prepare myself that could actually help my career? Maybe you want to start your own business. Maybe you want to join a multinational company. Maybe you want to work for government. Whatever be the situation, there are certain things that has a direct implication because of these trends, and that will kind of result in what kind of career that you are going to take. So these two are the most important things I want you to keep in mind. And when come back at the end in about an hour, I would have totally taken you to that, excuse me, to that through this journey. So one thing I would urge you all as students is to start a bit early if you want to look for business or insights. Is to there are many interesting websites. I would say lots of them that you could read good articles, business, etc. I would personally recommend that you go look at make sure that at least by your second year, third year of college, you are actually subscribing to this LinkedIn platform, which is actually a very good platform where you will get to hear a lot of insights, real time updates happening from the various industries, etc. Okay, so I am available on this link, and I promise you that after this you should have questions. I'm more than happy to answer those questions. But you would have any other points that you want to share with me, please go visit my LinkedIn page and give me a connection request. I promise you I will get back to you with some answers that you're looking for. Okay, so let's stay connected, because this is not a one-time effort. This is going to stop. So as Aishwarya introduced me, so thanks for that, Aishwarya. So the crux of what I'm trying to tell you here is, I very recently, about 3 or 4 days ago, I had actually conducted a webinar on what are some of those big trends that are happening in the region. So this is for the first time in 49 years, two countries came together. I'm not going to answer you. I'm going to ask you for a Q&A. But there are two countries, United Arab Emirates and Israel, that came together. And for the first time in 49 years, they actually spoke with each other. So these three gentlemen are all sitting from the United States. These three gentlemen are sitting from the Israel. So this is my Frost Sullivan's global CEO, Daryl Huntsman, and this is me. So I was moderating the session. So one thing that came out very clear, and why am I telling you the story is all of these countries have large technology, or probably say they have got a lot of innovation in their backyard, which gives them a very different kind of a feel in terms of what kind of opportunities that they would want to drive for their own country, right? So these are all. So this is a minister from Israel. So this is one of the big emir sheikhs in Dubai. So these people are all trying to identify what are some of the big trends that are actually going to happen in the respective countries that's going to drive the growth opportunities for them, and as a result, what kind of skill sets are required, what kind of jobs can actually come into their own country, etc., etc. So this is not just you as a student or a faculty kind of trying to understand what's going to happen, what's going to shape this future, but the whole world is actually looking for it. So we are also looking for it, but there is a clear message that, as I said at the beginning, is a very clear point that there are these future trends that you and I cannot wish away. So it will remain, it is going to remain, and we have to now actually clearly take notice and make sure that it aligns with our career needs. So having said that, I'm going to jump straight into a little bit of more of what I do. So as Aishwarya mentioned, I work with all these global companies, but what do I do for them? I mean, Frost & Sullivan is a global consulting firm. We've been around for 60 years. And we kind of look at how the markets are evolving with regards to the basic trends and the technologies that's going to happen. So we look at about 38,000 product categories, look at big global mega trends, industrial trends, industrial technologies that will disrupt the various industries. And once we have done this analysis, we are ready to kind of develop the transformational growth strategy, saying, look, if this is a trend, what would you do as a company to actually overcome this? And we focus on helping them identify opportunities, help them with mergers and acquisitions, and develop the digital strategy. So underlying to all of this is the digital transformation, which is a key component of how industries are going to evolve in the future. Okay, As I said to you earlier on, we cover close to about 12 different industry verticals in Frost & Sullivan. So we have, for interest to the SRP, the SRM, TRP engineering college students and faculty and management. So we look at things like aerospace and defense and security, automotive mobility and transportation. Digital transformation is a big one for us. Industrial process, energy, electronics, measurement instrumentation, metals. Health might not too much, but most probably not on chemicals and food and nutrition. But a lot of these industries are going through their own movement. So just to give you an example, about 5 years ago, when Tesla, the electric vehicle company, it started to come onto the market, they didn't have any market share, okay? So it was the world first number one Toyota car maker was Toyota. The second market player was Volkswagen. They had close to 70-80% of their market share, okay? So this has come to a stage where, because of the technological advances which Tesla took in terms of electric vehicles, in terms of autonomous, the mobility that the option it took, today Tesla is actually the number one market, the number one automotive company in the world with the largest market cap. All they were able to do was they foresaw a technology, they foresaw a mega trend, an industrial trend that's moving towards electric vehicles. All the major players, Ford, Daimler, GM, all of them thought, you know what, this actually is not going to happen anytime soon. And they actually were very relaxed. But there are companies like Tesla which came on board. They actually took this seriously. They understood that the market is going to go because of the environmental reasons, because of the high cost of owning vehicles. Many customers are going to switch over to electric vehicles. And they actually made a big, bold bet. But that was based on a very, very sound understanding of what were the future trends are. So we understand that, and we actually help companies to understand that. And the results, we actually supply this kind of information to many, many research institutes around the world. I mean, Professor Manivandan knows this. We work with the Stanfords, the Harvards of the world, where we supply this kind of information to them, which in turn they use for their own purposes. Just want to check, am I coming right? Visible, all okay, right?
Yeah, sir. You please go ahead, sir.
All right. So I want you to picture this as from a perspective of students who are looking at saying, what is this picture got to do? So you got to think there's a story behind this picture, right? So we have on the right side, we have got companies, and also on the left side, we've got companies. So if you actually literally see the difference of why some of these companies are where they are, why did Jet Airways shut down? Okay, why is BSNL not able to be the number one company in India? Why a new company like Jio came in and took off on a big level? And why is Amazon having so much of market share? Walmart is struggling with the same thing. They also sell, BSNL also sells mobile phones and data and landline. So does Jio. Jet Airways also has got planes. Indigo has also got planes. Walmart has got big stores. Amazon has also got big stores. So what is the big difference? I think if you see the difference is that they saw a big industrial trend that actually is going to move towards something which these companies didn't. They failed to actually look at it. So I'm sure many of you would have known people that have gone on Jet Airways in the past. That is not existing anymore. They had a pretty decent service. They were one of the best airlines. I would say I had actually flown. But Indigo came up with a very, very interesting, no frills. They didn't have any. They had a very different business model. Amazon, they adopted a very different technology. Jio, they adopted a different technology. So it's got nothing to do with COVID. All of these companies going into the red, and these guys are all these companies that are really doing well. There's a reason behind it because they actually understood what was the trends that was going towards. So if you look at somebody like Geo, they knew that this data economy will be the biggest economy that's going to drive the whole future. So they came up with a full data-driven model. Okay, Indigo came up with a business model that was very low cost, cheap. I'll get you there on time. So they won customer loyalty. Amazon, I'll show you in a bit about how much of investments they've made on technology as a result of this. So you as a student, as a faculty, you're looking at saying, hey, I'm going to prepare myself and I'm going to go into a career. I'm going to try and apply for these companies. So these companies are looking for some talent like from yourself, but they're looking for some advanced things that it's not the normal stuff that you will learn in colleges. But are you actually able to come up with a real use case problem? Are you able to solve? I mean, maybe you are in computer science, maybe you are in electronics, in communication, maybe in mechanical engineering. So those companies that you're going to go into, they're going to look at saying, look, I'm going to look for these students, and I'm not going to just look for some very standard stuff. They want to look at people that are really looking at, say, you want to become a data scientist, right? So you're going to say, okay, now all of these companies do require data scientists, but what kind of problems that you are actually able to solve? So just don't wait till the end of the 4th year to come up with your own kind of thing. Oh, I'll finish this and I'll see it. No, you start this right from day one, where you are right now. You started today, and trust me, when you get into the stages of you solving many issues, you will perfect it. And when you sit in for your campus interview, or when you apply for a job, I guess you're looking and saying, you know what, this is actually the kind of person I want. And just for your information, many global technology firms have taken this requirement out that you actually need to have a degree. Okay, I have stopped in my Frost Sullivan in my recruitment. We have almost coming to the conclusion that these education degrees only matter to an extent, but we are looking for something beyond that. So guys like E&Y, Accenture, Google, they've all actually now removed an engineering qualification as a main requirement, which is what used to be in the past. So there's going to be too many people looking at those kind of things. So you need to be very sharp and looking at saying, look, yeah, I have got this degree, but that by itself is not going to be enough. So why am I telling you all of this? I'm not trying to scare you, but I think it's very important that you pay attention to what are some of these big trends that are going to change the world. It's a global force. It's going to define the future, the impact on business, society, economy, culture, and your personal life. Unfortunately, it's not something that you and I can wish away. For example, why I'm sure most of you are now ordering stuff on Amazon, Flipkart, eBay. Why are you doing it? Because now the trend is moved away from going into a physical store and say, oh, I'm very interested to buy it now. And COVID has actually made it even worse, that people are actually not going to go out to do this anymore. So there's a big e-commerce push. I'm sure everybody is following the $1 billion sale, the India big market sale that comes over for Diwali. So everybody is getting ready for that. And that is because now there's big connectivity and convergence. I'll be very surprised if any of you on this call is telling me that, look, I don't have a smartphone anymore. Because that's the days that's gone. So coming up with many different of these business changes that happen, that is a big push that towards it. So it's going to change whether you and I like it or not. So likewise, I want to push you. I want to show you that these technologies that we follow at Frost & Sullivan, so these have got some global implications on the technology. Okay. So you're trying to understand what are some of those big technologies that are pushing this changes across these different 9 technology clusters that we are looking for. Okay. So we look at things like energy and utility, advanced manufacturing automation, sensors and instrumentation, medical devices, information communications technology. So these are technologies that are beyond the normal realm that we're talking about now. Though when we talked about artificial intelligence, about almost 5-10 years ago, AI was there a long time ago. By the way, guys, it's not something a new phenomenon. Okay, I've seen AI when 10 years ago people were talking about it. So it's kind of got to a point where it's now become mainstream technology adopted. So some of these technologies these big trends that I'm showing up here, technology trends, they are going to be the future. That you will see that is going to be even more rigorously being into. So these are, some are in lab scale, some are in pilot scale, but once it moves up, it will start become very quick in terms of the technology adoption. Okay, and so I would say, if you ask me, Mani, what is the most important of these technology you need to take note? I would say, look at these important ones that I've gotten here. These are probably the most potent or important technologies that are going to be around at least for the next 5 years. Most of you are in college right now, so you're looking at saying, okay, if I have to focus on some of these technologies, these are the technologies that you should focus on. And we are sitting in a state, we are fortunate enough, we're sitting in a state like Tamil Nadu, which is a pioneer in a lot of these things. I don't know how many of you know, we are the first state in the entire country to have a blockchain policy, an official blockchain policy that has been adopted for AI, blockchain, big data, etc. There's no other state in India that's got it. So there is quite a lot of push towards that for the government side as well. So it actually argues well for students and people like you who are actually going to be graduating, because it means that a lot of startups are going to come through. There's a lot of investments that's going to be made. I don't know if you know, Tamil Nadu is the largest space for data centers in India. You've got some massive investments happening in Chennai, where Chennai is trying to become the data center hub of the country. So a lot of these technologies are very important. So you'd say, I'm sitting in ICT, I'm in electronics, I'm in electrical, mechanical engineering. People will say, what does this mean for me? This doesn't mean anything to me. But mind you, all of this is connected with one important word, that is digital transformation. So you cannot say to anybody, I'm going to be in an industry that is not going to be touched by digital. Every industry is going to be disrupted. Every industry is going to be in digital. For example, many people thought when COVID happened and when healthcare became a challenge, people think, nobody is going to do video consultation, right? So now it's become so normal. In fact, I'm going to actually have a video consultation for my mom to do her checkup and stuff. So it's going to become very real. So you can't wish away this digital transformation anymore. It's going to be there in all our lives. So you could use this as a model. If you're seeking a student, saying like, what are some of those new innovation engine that's going to help you? So you can look at the top one. There will be many technologies. They are followed by big trends that I showed you right now. And these trends are going to be through with the different business models. That's on the third layer. And then you look at the innovation system, ecosystem drivers, which is where most of you are currently sitting at the moment. Academic lab, research labs, you're sitting in academic institutions. So these are all the innovation ecosystem drivers. And ultimately, this will go affect some of the industries. So you could change this around and say, okay, I am in electrical department. I want to think about a product that might actually be going into, might be affected by the megatrends. It could go into the manufacturing industry, and I am in the academy, and I'm actually trying to figure out how will this become as a new opportunity for me. So the whole of the future is going to be very, very rapid and fast, and very, very fast that you actually can imagine. And as I said before, whether you like it or not, we are truly and fully into the digital transformation, industry 4.0, industry 4.1, whichever name you call it. If there is somebody who's in this call who believes that this digital transformation is actually not going to happen, you may as well leave this webinar, because there's no use for telling you you're not going to listen to anything from this. So if you are in a mechanical engineering student, if you are listening, trust me, all of this is actually moving towards that. You cannot escape this anymore. So let me just paint you a little bit of a picture of what I believe is very important, because I just want to give another example altogether, uh, where banks, which was traditionally in the business of giving money and taking, keeping deposits stuff, they are now moving into this big game of a technology game, where these big companies like JP Morgan Chase, they're saying, look, we are a technology company, we are not a bank anymore, because you can see the kind of patents that these guys are deploying across these different areas of technology. So they know clearly something that is going to happen, which is a result of why they are betting so much big on some of these technologies. And we look at the big data market. As I told you, this is going to be one big area uh, where, I mean, before this, these data that you're seeing were pre-COVID. Fortunately, I don't have the latest updates, but I can tell you, see, with all sincerity, that we are going to move away from zettabyte, we are going to go to petabyte. Okay, so digital acceleration has become so fast because of COVID. I wouldn't be surprised that this number is actually closer to 500 zettabytes or 1 petabyte. So there is this big market which has got a massive implication. And you could see all the kind of companies that are filing patents on AI. I said to you, AI is a clear way for the future, and you can see the kind of patents that's been filed by companies like Microsoft, Intel, Google, Samsung, Qualcomm, Intel. Uh, Sorry, this is IBM. My apologies. IBM, Google, Samsung, Qualcomm, Intel, Amazon, Xerox, Cisco. So they're all repeatedly filing patents because of that. And as a result, is very clear, because we are now primed. And India is going to be such a big market. From industrial trends, you see India has got a big market for any global company to miss. So there's a reason why everybody is going to push this 5G big time. Uh, I know, excuse all the teachers and the professors. I'm not suggesting this to the students, but I'm just telling you the speed in which you will is going to start is like even before a lecture starts. You could actually download a movie just before it's in, like in a minute. You'll be able to download a movie and you can actually watch it. It's going to be that fast in terms of the machine to machine interaction that's going to be in for the future. I'm not suggesting you do that in your classes or when you're sitting in your work from home stuff, but I'm just telling you that's the level of sophistication 5G is going to bring in. And there's a lot of trials happening at the moment in different parts of the world. And I can tell you this is going to be a big game changer. So if you are doing some kind of, if you have some interest in digital transformation, in mobility, you're looking at telecommunications, all the telcos want to get them. They are looking for people that has a little bit of edge on understanding how this 5G is going to be. And you also have some expertise on natural language processing. You have expertise on machine-to-machine learning. Now you are going to be a very good product for any company to have. Okay. And the rise of automation, which I told you earlier on, didn't, well, Tesla, when it started, they only focused on EV, but they soon realized that it's going to be the autonomous game that is going to be very important. So it's a very deadly combo. So you could get into the Trichy airport or Trichy station, and you could tell, you could come out, you could book your cab. So there will be a driverless car that will stand in front of you, and you just tell, take me to SRM college, period, and you sleep, because you're going to switch your brain off, because you don't have to worry about, okay, when is this car going to go, where is it going to go, because it's electric, it's synchronized, it's fully autonomous, and you have absolutely nothing to worry, because it's going to take you safe. This is a scenario probably will happen in the next 25-30 years in our country, but I'm just telling you it's a possibility, that this is actually going to be a big move that we are going to see. So everybody is talking about corona and how it's actually making the world go mad. A lot of challenges. Of course, I agree. I know it's made all our personal lives very challenging. But one thing I can tell you is that in the midst of every crisis, lies great opportunity. And I am a true believer that this has given us a massive momentum to describe how do I make this corona work for me and make this as a great opportunity. So I just want to give you the benefits of thinking that there is a big, bold new world out there. It's a new world. It's going to be entirely new world. So maybe you are in your final year, maybe you're just getting into the final year, maybe just about to pass out and go into the job market. But all you have to realize is there is a tremendous amount of new opportunities that are going to come out in the near future because of all this innovation and because of all these requirements that are going to happen, and it's going to rapidly change the way in which we knew the world how it was. So what I have done here is I'm going to spend a little bit of time. I'm not going to give you all the details because I don't think it's going to be very important. So I'm going to give you I don't want to bore you to death with all these scenarios in India that's going to happen, but I'm just going to give you a quick understanding of, okay, what does this COVID really mean? Because when as an engineer or when you are in this situation, you might think, oh, they're making these big announcements where they're talking about a U recovery, V recovery. I'm an engineering college student. What does it mean for me? And why should I even bother knowing this? But if you really carefully understand the future, it's not about you knowing, look, I will know only my engineering part, I'll only do only this. That's not going to cut it anymore. You've got to have a very broad view because these trends just don't affect one industry, by the way. Okay, so that's the biggest realization you would have had already by now. A lot of these technologies are industry agnostic. You can do digital transformation across any industry currently. You can do AI across any industry currently. So it doesn't matter where you are. So and all these technologies have a big interplay that it can actually affect many industries. So I'm just going to give you a very broad thing to tell you that the recovery that we predicted. So this was done in this analysis that we did was in the end of August, early September. We thought, okay, maybe by Q4 2021, we should be actually back to normal globally. But because of the second wave that's happened, so I think this is still possibly closer to a 1% growth across the world. In India, we were very optimistic at that point of time to look at, so maybe we should be getting into at least a 5% growth by end of next year. Looks like things are moving into the right direction, but the macroeconomic growth will be somewhere between 3 to 5% going forward as far as India is concerned, which argues the fact that, look, there could not be many opportunities that could open up, but also it's a good time for you to think as to saying which industry should I actually start to focus on. It doesn't matter because you are in one engineering department, doesn't mean that you got to go and bang your head in only that specific area, but it also opens to you a very different focus. So I believe, in my personal view, that's going to be two U's recovery. So we had the first decline that we had. We will see a slow increase, but then again, because of the second wave that will happen in this end of this year, we'll see another shortened wave, and then we'll start to improve. And by 2022 beginning, I believe that we should be into some reasonable form of shape into back to normalcy that we could claim. And that means that there is quite a lot of industries that are going to be affected. So that could be the placements, the kind of the career path that you are going to take. It's going to look at saying which industries are going to be very affected. So these industries are only here. It's purely because of the reasons that I've told you. Nobody's going to work. So there's a real estate problem. Nobody's buying houses, hotels. Nobody's staying in hotels these days. Nobody's going transport. Manufacturing is down because not very people are consumption has come down. Construction, nobody's constructing. But there are certain industries that are really taking off. But these are industries probably are very basic ones that you will see. So if you look at all the kind of thriving industries that you see here on the screen, most of them are having a digital angle to it. and the struggling industries, you will see that these are the companies or industries that have traditionally struggled to adopt to digital technologies, and this because they have a brick and mortar model, and because of COVID, they're going to actually find it more difficult. So I will say there are certain industries that will be evergreen or nirvana industries. Doesn't matter whatever will happen. There will be a good element of what do you call it, a high. The degree of impact will be pretty low, and you will also see the revenue growth will have a high growth. This is a high decline. So these immortal industries like healthcare, telecom, digital, food and consumables, education, these are going to remain there forever. So these are also not going to be industries that are going to be affected, but there will be certain industries which will have a high decline, which will have a low growth, which are these industries that are really going to struggle for some time. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time just to give you a think on what are these big trends that are going to impact the ICV sector. So I'll do so for some. I will not go into all sorts of details, although I have them, but in the interest of time. So, sir, I'm just checking how much time do we have? Digital model, you're going to see this. And again, governments are going to become more open to looking at people because they have to look at AI and big data tools. And they might not want to outsource this to somebody else, or rather they would want to do it in-house. So you might want to actually focus some time on that. AR and VR, as I said to you earlier on, it's going to become a major area in the education industry itself. So it's going to call immersified learning. So you're going to have continuous learning. So companies are looking at AR and VR technologies. And of course, I spoke about 5G earlier on. Similarly, I will say in the industrial sector, the big opportunities in the power sector, it's going to be on a lot of ongoing work, the operation and maintenance of it. Aftermarket services, customers are going to look to saying, look, because of the power plant outages, with regards to the efficiency, there's going to be a lot of digital solutions that be developed there. People want to look at underperforming the acquisition of support on the power generation area. A lot of companies that are focused on T&D equipments, they're going to transmission and distribution equipments are going to have a good time in terms of exports. And if you're looking to join some of these companies, they are going to be a very good candidate for you to look at there. And because of the push from the central government of Modi, so there's going to be a lot of Make in India self or Atmanirbhar program. You already have seen many evidence of companies wanting to actually invest in the power sector. I will say in the oil and gas sector, again, people are going to do a lot of drones related stuff. Again, drones got necessarily only to do with oil and gas, but it's going to be more for remote surveillance. A lot of big data applications that are going to come out focused on sensors. I think it's very, very important for you to take notice because then you have unmanned robots, aerial vehicles.
Jayanathan? Jayanathan, what happened?
Sir? Yes, sir?
What happened?
No, sir. Everything is going, sir. I think.
Yeah, hang on a second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. You hear me, sir? Audible, sir.
Yeah.
Audible, sir.
Okay. Share your
The precision is not visible, sir.
Slide is not visible.
Yes, sir.
Coming. Okay. So,
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
okay, so I think there are students who are looking at from an mobility standpoint. I think the automation, the automotive sector, the car industry, the commercial vehicle industry is going to see some massive strain. But there is good news. A lot of investments are starting to flow with regards to some of the ones that you see on two-wheelers. So three-wheelers, two-wheeler industry is going to be a massive one. The passenger vehicles, we believe it's going to be declining for the quarters across three-wheelers and commercial vehicles. And I think we are into a global emergency scenario. If it gets into the global emergency scenario, I think we are somewhere between S2 and S3. So you could see some of the changes going to happen here. So I will say that because of the challenges that it's faced in this sector, you will see more and more companies that are looking at how do you develop platforms, right? So you will see Mahindra companies like the homegrown companies like Mahindra, Suzuki, and so they're coming up with different business models and how to actually to develop their strategies. And it's quite interesting that Mahindra launched a subscription model, saying they're telling to customers, okay, you don't have to actually own a car anymore. So you could just do this subscription with us that will help you to have a car. So you can just pay on like a EMI basis going forward without having the necessity to own a car. So the metals industry again, I will say that a lot of the technologies that will lead you to industrial Internet of Things, which I spoke at the beginning. So there is huge scope for automation from data on the shop floor. And if you notice, mining is one industry that has got a lot of investments. So, I mean, you might be thinking, look, of some very other kind of industries, but if somebody is interested in mining, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting area to do. And anything that is going to do with any antibacterial, antivirus coating. So because of the COVID challenge that we have, we are going to have companies that are going to focus on developing these kind of coatings, which is anti-algal, antivirus, antibacterial, that has a huge amount of applications on packaging, automotive, etc. Okay, so I will say there are very, very interesting perspectives as far as you are concerned. And I mean, given the paucity of time, I'm not going to go through all the detail, but how do you as a student, how do you as a faculty look at this preparation of the new normal, right? Because now COVID is here. Even before COVID, you already have seen the megatrends or the big industrial trends move. COVID has only made it more clear that we have to change ourselves and be ready for this new normal. And now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how do you find for example, if you take the digital transformation in the education sector itself, when we did this analysis back in 2018 already, we knew that there is going to be a massive amount of I'm sure your faculty provide you with an additional level of insights. That's why you are in a superb college like SRM. But to top it off all, you say like, how do I do models that could do predictive analytics? So you come with your own version of how a company could look at solving a problem. So you see this from an outside. The company might not even know that they had a problem. So you could say, look, how do I do predictive analytics? So you could say, okay, I've got a lot of, I'm sure many of you know, there is this platform called Kaggle. So Kaggle puts out competitions They kind of come up with many companies go to Kaggle, they go to GitHub, they go to these kind of different kind of problem solvers, and they say to them, "Look, I've got this problem. If you solve it, I'll give you $30,000." So you could look at those kind of platforms, and you can come up with pattern recognition. You could do natural language processing capability, voice assistance. Look at cybersecurity problems that you could come up with. You could crack a code, online code, and you could tell the company, look, this is how you could develop a cybersecurity solution for them. Information and visual extraction, data extraction of developing your own algorithm, unique algorithms that's going to understand information requirements and kind of come up with different outputs. And again, I said virtual assistants and robots. Again, robots, most of the commercial robots that people thought will only happen in 5-6 years from now is already here. Even today, there is, when COVID struck, there are robots that are taking medicines, they're taking food to people who are actually in isolation. There is a robot in Pothis, which actually tells people, look, sanitize you, they check the temperature, then they let them in. There is a robo in a bank which tells people, that does the same screening, and they do this, so they can actually understand a certain pattern in which how it actually matters. So likewise, you could come up with many different solutions across the different industries that we have. Okay, so it's not necessarily meant for only some elites institutions to develop this. You could be one that you could develop it yourself, along with your guidance from your faculty, and you could actually go to the companies and actually present your ideas, because everybody is looking for innovative solutions, creative solutions, and it could come from people like you who could be the catalyst to bring those kind of solutions. So I will say, I've kind of in these lines, you could see how different companies are actually coming up with their own kind of challenges and how they are developing their own kind of solutions. So every industry has its own unique requirement. It doesn't matter, but you say, look, I only have developed it for one industry. You could actually change it and adopt it to a different industry. So it's got a huge range of impact that just this one technology. So I just said, these are big industrial trends I showed you at the beginning. Now, even in that one specific technology area, it has got massive implications across different segments within those industries. Okay, so I'm going to say, look at some of those opportunities. You could say these are 4 big areas that you would find opportunities for the future with regards to chatbots, visual recognition. We could develop on virtual assistants, voice assistants, dwelling into solving cybersecurity related problems. So it's all about the technology, and I would say the AI as just as one technology, the growth is very imminent. You will have many areas where India is going to be having a massive requirement. So there's going to be a huge shortage of people in the world, and specifically in India, because we lack AI experts. So there's a constant change that you got to look at people and how the projects from academia to corporates, and even within our own company, we do have deploying a lot of data scientists, and that requirements keep changing because our customers coming up with different problems. We got to find out, okay, how do we constantly keep updating our AI capabilities? So with becoming AI becoming the new mantra. So you got to say there is huge possibilities in big data, AI, IoT, chatbots, visual learning. Lot of new opportunities that are going to come, where the whole world is going to come looking at talent with countries like India to develop this for the world. So that's the new next net of normal. So I know it's like looking at this might be a bit too, I might be preempting it. This is more from the faculty standpoint. But if you look at just from one sector, you look at blockchain, there could be different types of job profiles that are going to come up in the future. Just on blockchain, people are looking at health data scientists. These kind of companies that will come up, looking very new companies that are going to be formed, startups that will be formed. And I think from an industry standpoint, from an university standpoint, these are most probably what you want to be specializing on. I'm not suggesting that you do it right now, but this is how the new normal is going to look like, because the universities have to start to adopt into teaching the students, and as a result, companies will hire, and as a result, new types of jobs will start going to come. So you could do that using design thinking, which is to say, okay, you identify a problem. Okay, so as a student, what do? So you're looking at researching, like, what are the most common problems that our companies are facing in a specific area. You could combine all of this and you can identify a problem. You generate an idea. You build a small prototype. Okay, and then you test that idea, that prototype, and then you implement it and show to the company, look, this is the problem that you have. This is how you will be able to solve that problem. And trust me, it increases your chances to be more employable, and more companies are going to look for people that are, or students that are actually able to do this. So with that, I'm going to come to the conclusion of what I wanted to tell you. As I told you at the beginning of my story, I told you the UAE Israel story that I told you. They are looking at how do you develop new trends, how do you understand innovation, etc. So they're looking for the big. So two things I told you. One, you got to understand that these trends and technologies are going to be there for real. It's across the education sector, across where you're going to find. And secondly, as a student and a faculty, you should pay attention, close attention to how these trends are going to likely change the industries that you're going to go into. And you got to constantly upgrade your skills, constantly upgrade your kind of things that you're going to focus on. And that will help you to be more employable. You will be able to stand out of the crowd and saying, look, when I go into this kind of industries, you would be able to actually be you will be a great asset in that way to any company that you would be wanting to go into, and they would, I'm sure, will lap you and probably give you the best employment opportunity that you would be looking for. So with that, I will conclude my presentation. And as I said, the hashtag is future ready. So get ready, get started. I'm hoping that some of you are keen to know more about how this is going to shape your own life and career. And as I said earlier on, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm more than happy to present my ideas, give you, so this is how it looks like. So I'm more than happy to talk to you and support you in your career and in your future journey. Okay. So with that, I'm going to stop my sharing, and I'm going to hand it back to Mr. Victor and team. And again, I would like to thank Professor for this great opportunity.
Yes. Once again, no words, really, you gave plenty of information, plenty of insights for all the budding technocrats, sir. Really, your thought-provoking information about the mega industrial trends of the future will be enlightening must have enlightened many of our students, sir. Really, once again, on behalf of the institution, I request Dr. Manivanan, sir, to pronounce the vote of thanks, please, sir.
Thank you, Victor. On behalf of the management, the principal, all the HODs and the faculty and the students of TRPEC Engineering College, I must thank Mr. Mani James, who has given a wonderful thought-provoking mega trends of the future. In fact, today we are in the 21st century. What Mani said is change is a constant, because you have to change to the environment where you have to adopt the environment so that we can exist in this competitive world. He has given a holistic thought-provoking lecture on megatrends, where the students as well as the faculty has to be ready for the future in order to exist in this competitive world. Thank you, Mani James, once again for your wonderful and excellent. It's a holistic as well as 360 degrees of evaluation with respect to various technologies. In fact, I want to tell in this particular juncture, we talk about the KSA, the so-called the knowledge what you acquired from the 4 years of studies and the skills, because today we need various skills including the communication skills, soft skills, critical thinking, design thinking, programming skills, and cognitive learning and complex problem oriented solving. All those things are needed. Apart from that, we need ability. Unless you have the ability to showcase your knowledge and skills, the right platform, it is very difficult for us to exist in this competitive world. Okay, so Mani has come with this particular thing, with these three KSA. Okay, KSA is a new normal for us in this pandemic situation. Once again, what I was requesting to the faculty and students in the sense, we have to focus more on interdisciplinary as well as multidisciplinary activities, because he has given a holistic thing as well as he has given a particular domain AI, where the AI has got further segments of various things, including health. And Trichy is campus where we have got medical colleges nearby, and you have got various opportunities are there. Only thing is you have to have the right interaction. Unless you have the right interactions, again we cannot do anything. Okay, so instead of job seekers, we can create jobs. For that, what we need in the sense, the students has got the right curiosity. The curiosity leads to creativity. Creativity leads to innovation. Innovation leads to success. So everybody has to work for the success of the students. For that, what we need in the sense, we have to put a lot of efforts. If you put efforts, we'll be successful, will be prosperous, and will be the well-being. For well-being of the institution and prosperous of all of you and success of the students, you have to put efforts. That's why Avai has said, Muyatchi Thiruvuniyakam, Valluvar said, Ulluvathala Verullal. Thank you, Professor Victor, for the opportunity. Once again, thank you, Victor, Mani James, for your wonderful thought-provoking lecture. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, Mani sir. Really, you are very down to earth in so many things. Soon after getting the information from Dr. Manivannan sir, I approached you. Immediately you gave the consent to deliver the deliberations for our budding technocrats, sir. Really, the main intention of having such a webinars is to bridge the gap between the industry and the institute, sir. Because the thought-provoking information which you people are delivering to our students, surely it will be enlightening them in what way they have to enhance their ability to meet the requirements of the corporate, sir. That is the main intention, sir. Once again, we the SRM TRP needs your support, guidance, and encouragements all along, sir. Please guide along in the future also, sir.
No problem. Thank
So
you.
you can
Really,
take
sir.
our students, because he is very much ready to help our students. Okay, we
Thank
can
you, sir. Thank
get
you.
the team, and he will ready to interact with them, and even on a separate meeting.
Sure,
It's
sir.
not a
Sure,
problem.
sir. Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you
No
so much,
problem.
sir. When time permits, no, sir, once the pandemic situation comes to normalcy, please try to have a visit to our SRM Trichy campus, sir.
Sure, sure,
Definitely,
sir.
you will be cherishing a lot of information, sir. Hearty welcome, sir. Once again, on behalf of the management, we thank you for giving this great opportunity, sir. Wonderful,
Thank
sir.
you.
Great, sir. Take care, sir.
Thank you.
Take care,
Thank you,
sir.
buddy.
Take care,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.